welcome to Anita Crochets. My name is Anita. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make this beach cover up. It's very simple to make and I think you're going to be learning something. And this is how it looks like. As you can see, it's a skirt, call it a beach cover up, and down here we have a motif pattern, and that's exactly what we are going to be doing today. So let's get started. First of all, I'm going to be working with a 3.5mm hook, and you'll need a tape measure and a pair of scissors. Also a darning needle to weave in your ends. So let's get started. I'm going to get my yarn and make a knot. And I'll get my hook, a 3.5mm hook, insert it into the knot like this. Okay. I'm going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and get back into the very first chain stitch from the hook and work a slip stitch like that. I'll chain 2 from here, and now I'm going to start working into this the gap of the circle of the chains. Okay, so I'm going to work 12 single crochets. 1, 2, 9, 10, 11, and lastly 12. Okay, so we get into the chain 2 that we started with and work a slip stitch like that. Okay, so this is what we have. Now from here I'm going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 of the chains act as a stitch, and then the 2 chains are going to be like the chain gap that we are going to be creating. So since this acts as a stitch, I'll get into the next stitch of the previous row, okay, and work a double crochet, chain 2, into the next stitch you work a double crochet, chain 2, work a double crochet in the next stitch, and this is what you are going to do until you get to the end of your row. Okay, chain 2 and work a double crochet into the next stitch. Okay, so once you are at the last one, you will chain 2 and then work a slip stitch into the third chain stitch of the 5 that started this row. So in total you must have 12 chain gaps, and if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we are on track. Now from here we are going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn over. Okay, we make it 5. So from here we are going to yarn over twice because we are going to be working a treble, and this is what you do. Into the next chain gap you work 3 trebles. So okay, we have 3 trebles. All right, now remember this is going to act as a stitch and also a chain gap. So here we chain 2 and yarn over twice. Into the next chain gap you work 3 trebles. And chain 2, yarn over twice, work 3 trebles into the next chain gap. So you're going to do this until you get to the end of your row. I'm just going to get back and show you how to work into this very last chain gap, but you do this until you get to the end of your row. So once you're into this last chain gap, you work 2 trebles instead, because I said 3 of the chains are going to act as a stitch, so we just work 2 of the trebles and then work a slip stitch into the third chain stitch of the 5 that started the row. and this is what we have at this point. Okay, and now from here so this is what we are going to do. We are going to work one slip stitch. This is just to get us midway into the chain gap. Okay, so once there, you are going to chain 2 and then work 2 double crochets into the chain gap. Now we are going to skip this treble stitch, and then into the second treble we work a single crochet, yarn over, skip the next treble, and into the chain gap you work 3 double crochets in the very same chain gap. And once there, you are going to chain 1 and then work 3 double crochets again in the very same chain gap. So we skip the next treble and then work a single crochet into the next treble stitch. All right, skip this treble, and into the chain gap you work 3 double crochets. All right, chain 1, work 3 double crochets again into the very same chain gap. Now we skip the next stitch, and then into the next treble stitch we work a single crochet, skip the next treble, into the chain gap you work 3 double crochets, and then chain 1, 3 double crochets in the very same chain gap. So skip 1 and work a single crochet into the next, skip the next and work 3 double crochets into the next chain gap. Chain 1, again 3 double crochets in the very same chain gap. So this brings us to knowing what we have to do all throughout. You see what it looks like? Okay, so we are going to do this until we get to the end of the row. I'm just going to get back and show you how to work into this very last chain gap as we started in the middle of it. So I'm just going to get back and show you how to end your row. I am here at the very last chain gap where we already worked 3 double crochets. I'm assuming the chain 3 was also a stitch. So when I get here, I am going to insert my hook into the gap, okay, and work 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then work a slip stitch into the 3rd chain stitch of the 3 that started the row. So we have our doily complete, and this is how it looks like. There should be 12 of them, as we said. That's the number you should have. So this is how you make it. I'm just going to get back and show you how to attach it to the next doily. So here I am, and I have finished working this doily, and this is my other doily that I want to attach to this. And as you can see, I am on the very last row, and I'm just going to show you how to work this. Okay, you'll just work a number of double crochets, as you can see, and when you get somewhere where you feel like they're almost getting done, this is what you will do, is you'll skip the next stitch and work 3 double crochets into the next stitch, chain gap. And once you have your 3 double crochets, instead of chaining 1, you're going to take your hook out and just look for a point. As you can see, I have to count 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and leave those 4. Now into the 5th is where I have to like attach. Okay, so I'll get into the chain gap of the 5th like that, and then pull my yarn through, and then chain 1, get back into this and work 3 double crochets that I have to work. Okay, And here I'll skip one stitch and work a single crochet into the next, then skip the next stitch and work 3 double crochets into the next chain gap. And now instead of working your chain gap, you'll take out your hook and then get into the next chain gap of the next shell or arcade stitch, I don't know what you would love to call that, and get into it like that. Pull through your yarn, chain 1 and work 3 double crochets into the very same chain gap on this very same doily that you are working to complete. So you will continue with what you have been doing just to finish off your row, and once it is done, okay, so here you work your 3 double crochets, chain 1 and then work a slip stitch. So let me just show you how it has been attached and how you're going to continue attaching all your doilies. See? And this is what I have done for all these doilies, as you can see. So this is what you are going to do. For all the other doilies. Also, you will get your tape measure just to know how many you must have for your skirt. You'll get your tape measure and measure your doily. Mine is 5 inches wide, okay? It's 5 inches wide, and I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doilies so far. I'm not certain whether they can make my skirt, or I may need a 6th. And also keep in mind they are in position to stretch out. So if you make plenty of those and they make the hem of your skirt look like you have added something too much for the width of the skirt, then you'll have to take off some doilies, okay? So once you have the number of doilies that you need for your skirt, like following the design as I've explained for the body of the skirt, and also following the width that you have for the body of the skirt, then you are good to go, knowing how many doilies you must have for your hem. All right, now that you have learned how to join this, let me get back and show you what to do next. So I finished to join my doilies, and this is how they look. I made 6 of them because I'm making for a size medium, and probably if you're working for a small size, 5 could be just enough, something like this. Yes, and if you're working for a size large, I think please just make the doilies that actually can stretch out to meet your hip measurements, okay? So I think sizes large should make up to like 8 or 10, or whichever number that you feel like is wide enough to pass through your hips, okay? So now we are going to work the upper body, like the body of the skirt, and this is what we are going to do. We are going to get our yarn and just make a knot like this. Once you have your knot, from just any point, you are going to count 4 arcades backwards. From this point of the joining, you are going to count 4 of them. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. As you can see, it leads me to the next what? To the next joint. So it is here that we are going to attach the chains we are going to work. So we get into our hook, into our loop, and chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? And then take out our hook and insert it into the middle of this arcade stitch right there. Get into the loop, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through 1, okay? So into the very first chain stitch right there, we are going to work a single crochet, and then work a single crochet into the next chain stitch, then yarn over. Into the next 2 stitches we work 2 half double crochets, and then into the very last one, to make the 5th stitch, you work a single crochet. See what we have? So from here I am going to chain 5, 1 2 3 4 5, and then I'm going to chain 3 more that I'm going to work this on. Okay, so we chain 3 more. The 5 is for the chain gap, and then the 3 is for this. So we work 3 more chains, 1 2 3, making it a total of 8 chains. So we take out our loop and insert it into the middle of the next arcade stitch, and then we pull through yarn and pull through 1. Into the very first stitch we work 1 single crochet, and then into the next we work 1 half double crochet, and then work 1 single crochet into the next. Okay, so this is what we have. And again we work 5 chains, 1 2 3 4 5, and 3 more for this. So we work 1 2 3. So we take out our hook and insert it into the next loop, pull through yarn. Okay, into the very first chain gap we work, into the very first chain stitch we work 1 single crochet, and then 1 half double crochet in the next, and 1 single crochet into the next. So this is what we have. Okay, and then here we chain 5 again, 1 2 3 4 5. But now we have gotten to the fourth arcade, so we are going to chain 5 just like we did here, 5 more, making it a total of 10. Okay, making it a total of 10. So 1 2 3 4 5. Take out our hook, insert it into this gap like that. Into the very first chain stitch you work a single crochet and a single crochet into the next, then work 2 half double crochets into the next 2 stitches, and then 1 single crochet into the next. So we have a long one and a long one, then 2 short ones in the middle. Okay, so from here we are not going to work any chains. Instead we are going to join this and join it to this point. So what we do is we are going to chain 5, 1 2 3 4 5, take out our hook into the next right here. Okay, we take in our loop and work 1 single crochet into the very first chain stitch, work a single crochet into the next, and then work 2 half double crochets into the next 2 stitches, and lastly you work 1 single crochet into the next. So we have sort of like made a V right here, like a joint. Okay, and that's how it looks like. And this side we have 2 short ones in the middle and then 2 long ones on the sides. So we are going to continue from right here just like we did. Chain 8, 1 2, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. 5 of these is for the chain gap, and then the 3 is for that stitch that we make to go all the way up. So we work a single crochet into the very first stitch, and then work a half double crochet in the next, and then work a single crochet into the next stitch. And then here we chain 8 again, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. take out your hook, insert it into the next loop, and then pull through yarn, work 1 single crochet into the very first stitch, 1 half double crochet into the next, and then 1 single crochet into the very last stitch. See what we have? Okay, and now here we are going to chain 10. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Once you have your 10, you get into this loop right here. Okay, and then pull through yarn into the very first stitch. You work a single crochet, work a single crochet in the next, work 2 half double crochets into the next 2 stitches, and then work 1 single crochet into the last one, and we chain 5 again. 4 5. We go into this next one on the next doily right here. Okay, do that, work a single crochet into the next 2 stitches, 2 single crochets in the next 2 stitches, 2 half double crochets into the next 2 stitches, and lastly 1 single crochet in the very last stitch. So I think you can see the pattern that we are following. Okay, that's how it has to be, and that's what you are going to work all the way around, like all the way around until you get to this point. And I believe here and here have to connect like this, just like we have done here like this. So you will work a slip stitch to attach this to this, and then work your stitches. I'll just get back and show you how to join the two.